We have a baker in the house that I think a lot of you people in Regina will know. Jarod Bougie is in the house. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know I kind of harassed you to come on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love you, Kathy.
I'm just like, I really want you on the show. And you know why, though? It's because for those of you guys that don't know, he is passionate about baking. He makes the most beautifulest desserts you've seen in the city. But he goes above and beyond that. He's now created like the Vanderpump House in Regina.
It's a good thing to call it.
Right?
I like it, totally.
I love Vanderpump, and I love all of like the Real Housewives stuffs. And you always see them having like these elaborate dinners and lunches.
I need to have like an accent, talking
Oh.
like Lisa.
You could hire people, and then we could like fire them for like getting drunk,
Right.
even though we're drunk. It's so crazy. But you've created you are passionate about not just the dessert, but like the atmosphere that you're having the dessert.
Yeah.
So you've really evolved, because at first
From
it was
where
just
began?
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
and so because of that, I want us to talk about how you got there, because you guys, this is so inspiring to have somebody that really is doing fantastic things here in the city, and I love these sort of stories because it just makes me so proud of the people that I know. So I asked earlier, where did you start out? Were you from Regina? And he told me he's from Wishart.
Wishart. Yeah, really small town. Grew up on a dairy farm, milking the cows.
So you had access to lots of cream.
Yeah, Grandma used to like churn butter and make us ice cream and all
Delicious.
sorts of things. Yeah, it was really. But you know what? As a kid, we didn't appreciate it. Like we would always have the yellow ice cream. And everyone else had the giant like tubs of white ice cream. We're like, we want the white ice cream.
And the yellow's the best ice
so
cream.
Good, but not until you're older do you really appreciate things like
cream.
Yeah, real food. But now more than ever, like I think people like are really longing for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not homogenized, whatever.
Garbage.
Yes. So you living on the farm in Saskatchewan, there's long winters. Is that where your love of baking started?
I think love of baking started with like my mom and my grandma. Like my mom was a stay-at-home mom for years, and then she went to work. But we'd come home from school, and like the one day she had like the whole island was full of all different kinds of pies, and we got to just like taste each one. And going with like my grandma to Katepwa Farmers Market and stuff, that's I think where it started. And I didn't think I was gonna do it. Like I started going to, after high school, going to U of R, and my dad was like, what are you doing? Like you don't seem happy. And
that's
like,
beautiful that he asked you that question.
Yeah, and we never had, like, growing up early, we didn't have the best relationship or anything because he was always working. But that developed as I got older, and yeah, he's like
he had
my
some
best friend
insight.
now. Yeah, he did, and he's the one that really like pushed me to do that, and sure glad I did.
So how do you learn to be a baker?
I mean, you just
follow
bake.
The ingredient.
Yeah, open up a recipe.
Well, you seriously have some crazy like desserts. So in my mind, I thought maybe you had gone to Paris for like years studying under like this guy or something.
I moved to Vancouver and went to culinary school there, and it was at culinary school because I didn't know, like, do I love the savory side of things or do I love more the sweet side? And it was like everything that I did in the pastry program, I could touch anything and it turned out perfectly every single time.
You had the touch.
Yeah, that's where I really found that's what I was passionate about. So, yeah.
So no savory, but do you do
I
savory?
do savory. I enjoy savory. I don't like working on a line though. That is a different kind of stress than the stress of baking and doing weddings and last minute details. So I like the last minute detail stress, but not the hot stress, someone yelling at you like
this second.
Yeah, my first job out of culinary school, I worked in, they were redoing River Rock Casino, and I was going to be in their fine dining Italian restaurant.
Woohoo, at the casino, fine dining.
And it was the shortest job I ever had. It was like a week and a little bit. And I just like, this is awful. This is so not me. I
Nope.
can't do it.
Nope.
No. So.
So you finished your culinary school in Vancouver, and then did you come right promptly back here and open up QC?
No, I detoured and I worked in cosmetics for years. And at that point, it was just like they kept offering me more and more money, and the longer I stayed in it, they offered me more and more money and gave me.
And this is in
really
Vancouver,
awesome
right?
Yeah. So I worked from home office and sort of took care of Western Canada, and it was great. But it also allowed me, like, I could do baking and stuff for some of our events, and it allowed me to be creative in a different way, but it also helped develop my business acumen. And I don't think, well, I know for a fact, like, without that experience, I could never have made Queen City Cakes successful, right? Like, and I worked with a brand that was really popular in the early 90s, and I took it on when it was in its downturn.
Sure.
So it was always like, how do you make this work? And it was listening to customers. That was the biggest thing. And motivating the team, and because without the team, without the customers, you're hooped, right? So that gave me
the transferable skills you needed to run a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny how the little pieces, like when I did international recruiting, and I never in a million years would think that, like, that experience makes me comfortable now creating partnerships with people and stuff. It's so weird how it all layers in your life in different ways.
Yeah.
So you come back to here eventually, I'm guessing, after the makeup thing's over.
It was like 15 years or so later.
In Vancouver. And I'm
I think it
imagining
was.
Vancouver, you're spending a lot on rent.
Yeah, you basically work to live.
Right. Even if they're throwing you money.
Yeah, and you just spent it because you're
in that
having a lifestyle, right?
It's true. There's Holt Renfrew there. It's beautiful.
And I worked there for a while too. It's dangerous. I would get like a coffee stain on my shirt and just go and buy a new one.
What? I remember a girlfriend buying a $400 T-shirt in front of me while I was hungover, having a Slurpee in like sweatpants, and I'm like, it's a good thing you're a lawyer because I can't afford that. But anyways, it's true. It is a whole lifestyle there.
It is.
And you know what? It gets tiring. I've heard so many people come to Regina afterwards.
You know what? My partner and I at the time were like, well, there's only so many times that you can count on your hands how many times you would see your parents before they're basically gone. And it was like, this isn't really a life worth living anymore, right?
The rat race.
I want to be around family. And in talking with my dad, like I come from an entrepreneurial like father. Like
this is wonderful
crazy.
For you to have.
Yeah, so definitely have that from him, and he always was dreaming of different businesses to do. So he had this one where we were gonna like process like value-added farming, basically.
Yes. Which we should be doing.
We should be doing way more of it in Saskatchewan. Way more. They like people are in small scale, and that's great. And everything starts from that, right? And then you have the chickpea.
I was going to say the three farmers.
Three farmers. You have what's the main? Remember? But the giant processing plant on the east end of the city, like that's just amazing that we have
mills and all that sort of stuff.
So yeah, we were gonna start malting grain. So decided to totally pivot life and come back to Saskatchewan to start this business
of pulping.
Malting and processing grain with my dad. And I'm like, well, it still gave me, like, I love food, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, there's a lot of flavor and sales. So we're using my strengths, which made sense.
Right.
And coming home to develop and market this and sell it, basically. But at that time, so we went to China, got our equipment ready and stuff like that, and then the farm sold. So I'm like,
and that's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing, a farm, like being able to sell it like that.
Yeah.
So you couldn't not have that.
Well, it was the farm sale is what ultimately pushed me to start Queen City Cakes, because I didn't want to be living on the farm.
Yeah.
Because you had to do that basically if you were malting. I thought I could live in the city and blah, 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 but that's
I
not a
can't see
thing.
you on a farm.
I did it. I did it for like, I don't know, 2 years, I think. I have pictures I'll show you.
Oh, I want to see this.
Yeah.
It would make you like one
Farmer
flew over
Jarod
the
and
cuckoo's nest.
in his Prada boots in the mud. It was something to see for sure.
I'm crying for your shoes. Oh my goodness. So you guys did it, but then you pivoted.
And then, yeah, started.
And you guys started QC. Am I correct? Was it in the old warehouse or was it downtown in that little one?
No, we started on Broad Street in the warehouse district and found the most like perfect place in the brownstone building, which is like transformed and transformed.
Yes,
and transformed,
there's been a lot of different things through there. But you guys were always there.
We were there for, it'll be 7 years. Well, so 6.5 years we were in the brownstone. Yeah. It was amazing.
And
we
you
just
had that little
outgrew it.
piece out downtown, and that was like COVID time, wasn't it?
That was before COVID, but it was when there was a lot of like all the road work being done for a few years on College, and there was striking, and so it was a really intense time. I loved having it because a lot of people it wasn't busy, to be honest, but because it was like off. I don't know, just there was like no parking or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, that's how they learned about us. And even when I saw that space, I'm like, this might not be busy, but this is a great marketing opportunity. Exactly. Just have my sign there. So we always had like epic windows. So yeah, like that's what that was.
Because the other building, you were a little hidden away.
Yeah, we're off in the corner. And then like right after I moved in, the corner spot opened up and I'm like, oh, it's too late. Like I built this kitchen. Like I can't do it.
No, so, that's a lot of jump step over.
Yeah, it started like, I remember looking, when we left the brownstone, it was so busy moving to our new place because it was like, I'm like, you know what, we have to do it. And it was the first week of December. I'm like, I am crazy, but it had to be done. And because it was 2.5 years.
Hold on a second, guys. We've jumped like a critical point in this conversation, and this is why I have been harassing him to come in. Because not only do you have like this huge following now of people that enjoy your cakes, like everybody, if it's a big birthday, wants one of your cakes. It's definitely a thing. But what I think is like amazing is you took an old house and renovated it, which is something I once did, and I like love the idea of like updating an old house.
Love it.
It cost
Didn't
3 times
how much it was gonna cost.
Yes, you're right. But I can appreciate what you've done.
Thank you.
And you guys, this is what he did. He took the brownstone location and he said, we're ready for more. We want to give people an experience. Am I right?
Everything to me is about experience.
Really?
It is. Like, that was the whole thing. QCC.
I can
was my
see
old
it.
other job. It's how I dress. I'm like, it's an experience. Eating, drinking, everything is an experience.
Oh my goodness. Well, you can now see that. So so where is your new, like, are you guys living there too?
No.
So I feel like it could have been. Like, it's just so
wish.
big and beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the house is stunning. So it's at 2310 McIntyre. And so
for us people that are bad with directions, what's that close to?
That's like a block north of, what's the museum?
The museum.
The museum. Yeah.
A block north of the museum. So you're like for Jane massages and all that.
In there.
Okay, I love that area. It's all these old houses
downtown.
That were from high-end professionals from when Regina first, and they must have not gotten bulldozed over by a tornado.
Well, this house originally, this house was built in 1906, and it was originally located in Cathedral. And then in, 1980, the Hostel Association bought the house and they moved it to where it is now.
How incredible. So you have a good basement.
Brand new foundation, but the house was
the old stuff.
Was the original house.
That's
they
the
did
best
additions.
Thing.
Yeah, so then when I took it, I bought it 2.5 years ago. And it's taken that long to renovate this thing.
Oh my gosh.
The whole purpose of it was to restore it and bring it back to the original house, right?
And that's called expensive.
That's called very expensive. We use
The flooring.
The flooring, original flooring. Well, not all of it. The extension isn't original, but we did things like with my designer. I'm like, okay, I want to make sure we have this like Wonka vibe, Alice vibe, crazy QCC. We need to keep certain things black and white. We need to keep it to like the Georgian revival style of the house. And it can be colorful, and she loves color, so it was great. And it had to be colorful and
an experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you have like these huge tables in some of these rooms with chairs. So is that so that it could be like a private little like coffee or?
So I think sometimes like what's so nice is like, we always grew up like family dinner, right? And everyone comes to the big table to sit down and eat. And I mean, my extended family is very large as well. So you just keep grabbing a bunch of chairs and then I guess you're in the living room and everywhere else too. But I didn't want it to be like a traditional place. So when you're coming in, you could have this experience in this room and then have like, even though if you're eating the same thing, you go into another room and it's a totally different vibe, right? So there's always a new thing to discover, right? So yeah, some rooms have big family style tables, family style dinner or tea. And then there's just cute like little bistro areas, which make you feel like it's like an outdoor tent, but you're inside.
So this is like a next step up, because at the Brownstone, like you didn't have like people like sitting and staying.
No, you could never sit in because there's a coffee shop in the building. So I was always limited.
Okay.
But it was starting. So you don't know, like at first, when I first started, like family was like, I don't know, Jarod, like I don't know if Regina's ready for
a bakery,
like high-end cakes like this, and that's your focus, right? Like
right.
You don't have the come in for coffee to draw like money, right? You are relying on grab and go. And we started so small, but I think that's the right way. And it was like and we still do this now, where we launch products, test it for a while, get feedback from the clientele, customers, and then when we're ready, then we open. Like when we opened in McIntyre, pardon me, we didn't have our coffee machine yet. We had all this seating, but we didn't open with that. We just blocked it off, because when we do it, it has to be done right. And a lot of people are like, okay, but now you have this, so you should have afternoon tea and la la la.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm thinking.
And we know you have this amazing floor upstairs, la la la. But so we introduce things slowly. So we actually today is going live on our website. Our first afternoon tea will be March 13th, which is also my 40th birthday. So
party too,
right?
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so everything comes in time.
So are you gonna have servers then to like do it, or will we go up and we'll order our food and take it to the table?
No, you'll
where is the
secret
secret?
To your seat. No, and then we'll bring everything to you, and we'll refresh things as needed.
Oh my gosh,
so another thing that we do differently, and I don't know, I'll either be loved or hated for it. I don't know. People haven't minded yet, but we're at like a no-tip place.
It's part of the price.
It's part of the price. So
you pay your people properly.
That's right. And that's important to me. And I don't know.
What about the 20% tip?
No.
I hate that. That makes me so mad.
What we do is when it's sit-in, so I'm a big fan of like collecting china. That's like the one thing that I love collecting is beautiful old china. Anyway,
perfect for where you are.
Yeah, and this essentially is being like, I've always wanted to do this in McIntyre.
The little teacups.
Yeah, like I've always wanted this whole place and to do this experience. It just in time, because everything costs money, blah blah. So yeah, and opening this, and when we have the sit-in, we just do a 15% service fee.
Yes.
Which helps to cover the cost of cleaning and
their time.
Laundry. Right?
Running a business.
Yeah. So
and then we know what we're getting into, so you know what you're paying ahead of time.
Exactly.
And the servers can have a reliable income.
Yes.
I love it.
That's good.
I love it. You've thought a lot about this.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about some of the themes of the rooms, because I saw you've been sharing pictures online, so
Yes.
all of us are like in awe. Like, thank God there's something so beautiful in the city.
It's a little hidden gem.
Tell us about the rooms.
So the first part, and it's not all done, it's going to continue, but when you first come in, it's like a nice little hallway, and it's traditional right now. It's not quite finished. It's going to eventually be like an Alice in Wonderland vortex where she's going down the rabbit hole, but that's to come. So now when you come in our retail area is very like, we kept the traditional like black and white and like the grand floral displays and things that is Queen City Cakes. So you kind of see that first.
It's like your ode to your brand.
Exactly. So all our packaging is that. And the reason I did that is, one, it's timeless and classic, and two, our products are so colorful that the black and white, the products stand out, right? And so when you leave that area, the next thing you see is the tent room, and that's black and white with some gold accents as well, because we do have a lot of gold things.
Bling bling.
Yeah, a shimmer.
You need it.
You need it. And yeah, so that's like indoor outdoor tent vibe, and then you have this. And my partner Joseph has names for all these rooms now, which I don't even know them off my head. I cannot take credit for this. But like the purple room or like majestic room, I don't know.
Vanderpump room.
Vanderpump room. Yeah. So that one's like, to me, it's like Prince Wonderland.
I want my birthday party there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already, like, it's gonna happen. Plan for it. My birthday's June 4th.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And it's like extravagant.
Yeah. As Brittany would call it, it's very maximalist.
Which I think is perfect.
Very extra, yeah.
You know what? We need to have more fun when we're eating. I think that our culture in Canada, having spent a year living in Korea, I did the whole like, did you do a year in Korea too?
I did not.
What?
No.
So we just eat Korean food because we're smart,
Right.
because it's delicious. Well, when I lived there, eating is all about the whole night.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like just eat and stop and then do like, and that's what we do. And I find like our meals,
Eating is more of a because you need to rather than an experience.
Exactly. So like,
Yes,
it's the
take
night.
time.
This is the night to eat, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I find that makes it so much more of an event, so much of an evening. It's special. And to have spaces where that's what we're supposed to do now,
Yeah.
like, you're giving us little like memories too, like gifts. Like, you're good.
Thanks.
You're really good.
You're good. You're fabulous.
Well, I try. So what's your plans? So you're next is getting the upstairs to be more rooms?
So
Do you ever think
upstairs-
it'll be like a nighttime club too? Because like I feel like it
No,
could be.
it's too expensive. The things
VIP,
in there, like,
VIP.
oh my god, these are antiques too that have been collected.
You don't trust the public drinking
Oh
around
my
those?
god, I don't trust myself. The amount I've already broken so many teacups.
Oh my goodness. Oh, aren't they pretty though, the old ones that nobody
Yeah.
wants anymore, but you can take them.
Yeah, so if anyone has teacups and plates,
Seriously.
just bring them by.
The China
I'll trade
thing?
you for an experience.
That's a
That's
great
what I will
idea.
do.
You guys, he's looking for old china.
Mm.
You know, some people take old china now and break it and make it into jewelry and everything,
Oh,
or
that's
candles and tons of different things.
Very cool.
Are you going to have merch and stuff at your store too? Because you have in the past, like you
merch.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We did it for a bit. I don't have plans to do that yet. To me, it's first we're doing the afternoon teas, and then there's even bigger experiences in the works, and that's gonna happen when we open upstairs. But it'll be something. The first one, here's my teaser for you.
Thank you.
The first one, it's gonna be for some people, and some people won't be into it because we're gonna have an Alice experience and a Wonka experience, and you're basically gonna travel in Alice. You're gonna travel through Alice in Wonderland in using all different senses, as a group with strangers, and you're going to
amazing.
go through room to room to room and have different experiences.
Whoa.
Like from the beverages to you're not going to be sitting all the time. Kind of like my little version of how I can create a mini little Disney land
This is
experience.
incredible.
It's just like the crazy things that are in my brain. And now that I have this building, I mean, I've always been, I can pretty much just do whatever I want. So this just allows me to really give.
You got the space.
I have this space. I can do even more
Crazy
things.
off the top things.
Yeah, and I have such an amazing team that like I can now focus on other parts of the business more rather than, working
Making cakes
oh my
repeatedly.
God, all night, every day. I mean, we still work, 6.5 days a week. But I'm starting to learn,
Delegate.
take a moment, delegate, and also like trust.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always been a mentor coach to the team because that's something that I learned in my past. But yeah, they're just amazing. Like, they're amazing. So.
Well, I think that they're in good company and that you must attract it for real. It's a vibe. You bring it,
It is a vibe. Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing in Regina. Thank you, Jarod.
You're welcome.
And you guys, please go and check it out. I promise you will not be disappointed. Tell us the address again.
2310 McIntyre.
McIntyre. And I'll put his link to his website too, so you can check out some of his goodies. They're incredible. Take care out there, guys. Bye.